I remember when we came here for the first time, there was no light nor anything. In one of the rooms, an elderly lady sat. She was about 80. She sat on a small chair. She was leaning against her walking cane. She held a key in her tightly clenched hand. It was a key to her house. She had nothing else left, just this key. She sat and cried, and we cried with her. That's all she had left from her whole life.
Georgia was a republic of the former Soviet Union, located in the southern Caucasus. It is a picturesque mountainous country that lies on the eastern shore of the Black Sea. In its glory days, people spent their summers there, drinking the local wines and enjoying the renowned local cuisine. Today the country lies in ruin. Ongoing conflicts in the Ossetia region and the wars with Russia have devastated the country over the past 20 years. Industry has collapsed and people have lost their jobs. The state-run healthcare system no longer works.
А пенсию получаете? Еда вам не хватает? Сколько пенсия сейчас у вас? 80 лар. Вам нужно тоже лекарства, да?
Обязательно надо лекарства.
А где вы раньше работали?
30 лет работала в операционной.
Как медсестра?
Да, медсестра.
Кто с центра гармония пускай заходит. С центра гармония заходите кушать. Центр гармония в начале. Та бабушка у нас самая старая. Сколько вам лет?
25.
Сколько?
25.
25. Поздравляю.
The stagnant economic crisis, with no solutions at hand, has had its most devastating effect on the elderly who have lost their life's possessions. The average pension stands at the equivalent of €35 a month. The free state-run healthcare system no longer exists. It's primarily for them, the elderly and those out of work, that Father Witold opened the canteen.
We try to make sure that the meal is wholesome, because they sometimes travel several kilometers on foot to come here and eat their fill in weather like we have today, or in a downpour. In addition, they receive a loaf of bread every day from our bakery. That's nearly half a kilo. Also something to drink, either cocoa or tea.
Te 3 дедушки, сидит одна женщина, но ей так дрожит рука, что она кушать не может. Может, надо взять человека, чтобы ее накормил.
They have eaten, and they will remain seated like this. They have nowhere to go. It's warm here, and they have someone to talk to. People are gregarious. They themselves tell us that the loneliness is what is worst. What to do? Wait for death? What sort of life is that?
Na zdrowie. Wy w Centr Harmonia idziecie? My tam przyjdziemy skoro k wam. A, wy тоже?
Мы все.
The plight of the elderly and the pensioners is by far the most tragic. When you live alone, you don't have enough money to pay for the lighting, water, gas or medicine. How does one live on €40 a month? It's unrealistic. My doctors at the clinic tell me that the pension is too much to die and not enough to live on.
I worked at the Veterinary Institute for 44 years. Then when I became a pensioner, I turned to Father Witold and told him my story. My pension was small and too inadequate to survive. He took me on. I am very pleased with everything here. We are medically treated here and fed twice a day. I, for an example, do odd jobs like sewing, knitting, for both the children and elderly, sick patients. We are received with warmth here, sincere warmth.
They very often reminisce with nostalgia, perhaps not about the whole Soviet system, but at least a part of it. Because they had work, medicine, hospitals, care, homes, heating, water, lighting, gas, everything. The possibility to go on a holiday, and in addition, everyone could save something to secure a comfortable old age. Then suddenly, one beautiful day, all their life savings disappeared. Now they have nothing. The old system suddenly crashed. It all fell apart and there was no new system to at least guarantee a decent minimum to replace it. There is no industry here. Nothing is produced. There is great unemployment.
I worked for 50 years for television as a concert master. I also worked as a concert master at a conservatory. My students are now active in Argentina, Paris and Japan, but I am left unemployed. They expelled us from television, which left us with no work. When I worked, I saved money. At one point, I could even buy 3 cars. They took it all away. We were left hungry. I was depressed, and I recovered here. They often suffer from depression. We have had several suicide attempts. In a few cases we were able to help, in others not.
We rented a room next to the canteen and we opened a dispensary. Dispensary is rather an exaggerated word. I had Nina, Nona, Nana, and to this day those 3 women work with us. And that is how the dispensary began, in this one little room. Towards the end of the 90s, we bought this bit of land and an old building which stood on it. We needed money to renovate and expand the clinic, where we daily treat dozens of poor people, really very poor people. It is the center of our medical program. For the $12,000 that we had received from Aid to the Church in Need, we have managed to build that part of the building that's now behind me. On the first floor, there is a physiotherapy center, offices and storerooms with goods for the refugees.
The medical program includes not only the health center, but also a sophisticated rehabilitation system. The patients are the poor and destitute, the elderly, refugees, those with large families. To feel that they are not beggars receiving alms and to maintain a sense of dignity, some choose to contribute a symbolic monthly payment. As is so often the case, it is the oldest that find themselves in the most difficult situations.
I'm always mostly sorry for all these elderly people who come to us. They've worked honestly throughout their lives, sometimes occupying important positions. After all, they are this country's intelligentsia, and today they are beggars, truly not of their making, unneeded and helpless, because nobody needs old people today. And then it turned out there are many old people, ill, frail, lying in rat-infested homes. Some need to be attended to twice a day to change their diapers. If we don't help these people today, tomorrow they will die. Excuse me for painting the picture like that, in their own excrement. Nobody cares about them here.
Это добрые люди дали, чтобы вам закупить немножко продуктов. Это для вас все. Григош, я вам привезла.
Patients often die, but they die like normal people, with dignity. And I must say that that's also very important.
Можно? Спасибо, доброе утро. Как ваши ножки? Ну вы прямо бусы. Не можете, да? Вы моя самая симпатичная больная. Не смотрит на вас? Ну что вы, не поверю никогда.
The home care program gives the elderly back their dignity. It is funded entirely by the Catholic Church. State institutions do not participate.
If there's any money given by the government, it's divided based on competitions. Our priority is to create places for work. Father Witold, on the other hand, would like to receive money to feed the poor. Unfortunately, we have no such possibilities, but of course we understand him very well.
My dream would be for there to be no poor people one day, not only in Georgia but everywhere in the world. For there to be no people who must search for food in dustbins. For there to be no people who must die because there's no money for medicine or an operation.